Hi everybody, I'm Mike Ostrowe, and today we're going to talk about how do I transfer my old collection of cassettes and LPs to digital format. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not rocket science, it's pretty easy. In fact, it's time to get rid of that big collection of LPs and cassettes that your significant other is telling you to make space for her collection of shoes or whatever. So it's easy to do, and we're going to show you what you have to use to get it done today. So first step is first to take an inventory of what you have in terms of hardware. Some people may have a turntable sitting around, an old cassette player. That's pretty much all you need. However, if you want to step up to the satellite age, so to speak, and get yourself one of the brand new turntables like this Newmark here that we have on the table, what makes it unique is that it allows you to plug into a USB port, because in the back there's a USB cable attached to the turntable, and you can just plug it into one of your USB ports on the back of your desktop or even a laptop, depending on what you have. So I would consider that. The only thing I dislike about the USB turntables, they're kind of cheesy. It's a lot of plastic. They're about $150 depending on where you buy it. They'll do the job. It comes with a cartridge, and some of the better ones like the Newmark have a counterbalance to allow you to adjust the pressure that's going to go on your records so you don't damage them. That's important. And also the Newmark has a pitch control. So if you have some records that sound kind of sour or wobbly, you can adjust the pitch on the turntable and bring them back to a more pleasing sound. But before you get into that at all, you have to do a little housekeeping with your computer. And by housekeeping I mean you have to go into your computer and make sure it's not fragmented, meaning that your files are all over the place, because when you do this transfer process of your music to the computer, if anything gets in the way, either an antivirus program or a firewall program or any of those other programs that are running in the background, and that you'll see in a moment when I get into the computer, in your system tray you'll have a lot of those little icons. You want to get rid of those. You want to present to the two programs that we're going to use today, Roxio and Audacity, which is a freeware program. You want to present to them a plain vanilla configuration. Nothing running in the background to inhibit the process of the transfer of your album or cassette tape into the computer. So that's essential that you do that housekeeping. Now you say, well, I don't know how to do that. I've never done it. Well, we're here to help you out. And let's take a moment and show you exactly how you get into defragmenting your PC. The first step in housekeeping is to go to My Computer, and that'll take you into your hard drive, which in my case is local disk C. You want to right click on it, and it'll give you a menu. Down is on the menu is Properties, and you want to go into Tools, and you'll see three options here. Error checking, which is also good to do. Defragmentation, which is what we want to look up now, and backup. You want to defragment because if you haven't done this in a while, a lot of your files are fragmented all over the place. So you just hit defragment now, and you get an analyze button here, and it will analyze your hard drive for you, the disk defragmenter utility. And mine is in pretty good shape, and it tells me that I do not need to defragment this volume, meaning your hard drive. So we're good to go. And that's all you have to do. If you need to defragment, then you go to defragment here. There's a choice, a button down here. Click on it, and what you want to end up with as many blue contiguous files as the legend down here tells you, as opposed to a lot of red here would indicate that you need to defragment. So that's all that defragmentation involves. So that's all you have to do. The next thing to consider in housekeeping also is to get rid of all these little programs down here in what's called the system tray that are running in the background. And in most cases, all you have to do is right-click on it, and you can exit the program, and it will stop it from running in the background. And why that's important again is that you don't want any programs interfering with your transfer process of your album or your cassette into the computer. So just go through each one and just knock it out, exit it out, or quit it, whatever the option is. And then you're good to go. So that's the main thing with housekeeping. Now once you've done your housekeeping, one other thing you could do is get into, go back to my computer where we were and do a little cleanup of the temporary files that usually exist when you go out to the internet. Now you'll notice in that same area that we were in before, there's a disk cleanup. If you just click on that, it'll go out and erase all those temporary files that exist when you download from the internet, either a program or a temporary file. So you want to get rid of all those. So you want to maximize your PC to give maximum transfer power to the program you're going to use, whether it's Roxio, Easy CD Creator, or the Audacity program. So this will take a couple of minutes, and then once you've done this, all your housekeeping is done, and you're ready to go and use the one of the two programs that are available to do the transfer of your LPs or cassettes to CD. And we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, the next step in the process is after you've done your housekeeping, you want to take an inventory of what equipment do you have. Do you have a turntable, an older turntable like this one? If you have an old turntable like that, you're going to need what's called a preamp. A preamp takes the low-level signal that comes out of an old turntable and boosts it to the appropriate level that will allow you to record the signal onto your hard drive. This particular one is made by a company called Rolls, R-O-L-L-S, and you notice in the back there's an output, an input, which is where you're going to put your turntable, and output goes from the little preamp into your computer into the line input, which is usually a blue color on the back of your sound card. So that's what you need if you have an old style turntable. If you buy one of these new ones that have the USB connector, all you have to do is take the USB connector and plug it into the back of your USB port on your desktop or on your laptop. And that will allow you to make an easy connection, and you're all set to go. The other thing is, if you're using a tape recorder, you need to get a cable with two RCA connectors like this, a red and a white or a red and a black. And on the other end there'll be a mini plug instead of these two other RCA jacks. So you need two RCAs to a mini, and that will get you connected to your computer if you decide to go with a cassette transfer. The other option is just to go into your receiver. On your receiver there's a turntable jack that will allow you to plug a regular turntable, or even the newer USB turntables. They also come with the RCA plugs as well. So you could go into the turntable jack of your receiver, and then from the turntable, from the outputs of the line outputs that are usually for your tape decks on the back of your receiver, you could come out of the line outputs, and that's how you could go into your computer as well. You come out of the line outputs, the tape out jacks as they're normally called, with two RCA plugs to a mini plug again, which you'll plug into your sound card on the back of your desktop, or if you have a line in on your laptop, you can do that as well with that. And that'll get you hooked up physically. Once you're hooked up physically, then we go and we look at the software and show you how to transfer. Okay, now that you've done your housekeeping, you've taken stock of what you have at home, your record players, your cassette players, your cables, everything is in order. We're ready to do a transfer. One thing I'd recommend to make things a little easy on your records is to clean them first. Now there's a product from a company called Disc Washer. That's D-I-S-C Washer, that will allow you to clean your records. And it's very important that you do that. They may have been sitting around for 15, 20 years and they're collecting a whole bunch of dust. This you can buy at Academy Bookstore and Records on 18th Street. It's about $20 or so. It comes with a little fluid that you put on the felt pad there, and you just clean your record off and you're good to go. So once you clean your record and you're ready to go, let's take a peek at the software that we're going to use. Essentially, we're going to use what's called Roxio Easy Media Creator. This version is 7.5. They're up to 10 now, but essentially the utility that we're going to use today is converting LPs and tapes to CD. That utility has remained intact throughout the different versions, so it'll look pretty much the same here. And what you need to do is bring up this LP and tape assistant, and you'll notice that they initially give you a recording setup, specifically what I spoke about, how to connect your equipment. So if you need a refresher on that, you could go through that. But it's essentially what I spoke about. Once you connect all your equipment, what you want to do is go into record tracks. And that'll bring up what's called the USB codec, which essentially is your USB turntable, which I have plugged into the computer already. You notice there's a little bit of ambient noise sound there. You want to capture your audio in a wave format. That's WAV, because that will represent the original source of either your record or your tape. If you do it in MP3 encoding, that'll involve some compression and you'll lose some of the quality of your recording. So do it in wave format. I'd recommend that. Once you have that all set up, you can either ride the gain, as it's called. You can watch the level of the recording coming in, or you could set it to auto, which I would recommend, especially if you're doing loud rock music. You don't want the level meters here to peak into the red, and otherwise you'll get a distorted recording. So we'll start the turntable, and here we go. You'll see the meters are going here. We should be able to get some sound here. Maybe not.
You're on the AV, I think. I switched it on you.
Oh, okay. And what we're doing now is just monitoring the sound to get a level. And you'll notice that the meters are in good fashion here. They're not peaking, they're not clipping at all. So you got a good sound level. And you do, when you're ready, you just hit the record button and you're recording. And what it does is it saves it as a file. You'll be able to save it as a file in your My Documents directory, which is very important. Now you notice on the bottom here it says Add Track Separator. After this particular track is over, you just hit the track separator and that will go to the next track. That'll add a number 2. This first track is recording now. You click the track separator and it'll make it to track 2. So once we get a little bit of recording here, we can stop it. Now once you've recorded your original source material, depending on how bad it is, meaning if it's a record it may have a lot of pops, clicks, it may have a lot of surface noise. What you want to do is to go to the next step. You say done here. You click on your, this was saved as an audio _1, but you could right click it and rename it to whatever you want. We'll just call it piano for now. And once you have it renamed, you could go to the next step, which is to clean it up. And Roxio gives you a nice interface here, allowing you to clean, to enhance, and to use an equalizer. So if you have a lot of pops and clicks on the record, you hit clean, and it'll bring up several sliders here that will allow you to declick, decrackle, denoise, and to, I guess, add a little noise if you wanted to for whatever reason. But with records, you're mostly concerned with declicking, decrackling. You want to get all that surface noise that built up over the years. So what you do is you just set your levels, and then once you set the levels, you can play with that in there. And of course it sounds much better. Now what you can do also is bypass it and go back to how it sounded originally. So you can have a nice comparison here of after and before. Just stop it and go on to your next enhancement, which is an enhancer which allows you to add bass or an exciting button, an excite button, which is essentially to boost the high-level signals, to make it brighter. So you have that choice as well. And as you play it, you'll hear the difference. And again, you can bypass those two features as well. So Roxio gives you a lot of flexibility in cleaning up and enhancing your music, whatever it may be. So it's a good program to use. It runs about $59, $60 after rebates. So I'd recommend it if you want to go into this recording engineering profession, so to speak. Get started with this type of program. I'd recommend Roxio. Well, if you're thinking of becoming a budding engineer, a recording engineer, this is the way to start. And Roxio is a nice intuitive program that you can use to do it. And remember, only record those records and tapes that belong to you. Remember, there are rights involved. A lot of people went into making this stuff, so respect. Thanks for stopping by. And please visit our website, nypc.org, and look for our next audio workshop. Hope to see you there. This is Mike Ostrowe saying bye.